We don't do that here.
But the cream rises to the top.
It was a bad one. All right. We're back, baby. Fucking ultimate casuals. Out of order. We are untangling fucking Christmas lights. Make peace with it. We're back. We're here to chat fights. Fellas, how we doing?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Excited.
You know, I was doing amazing, and then the check engine light came on in my truck again. So, you know, we're hanging in there. We're hanging by a thread. I'm gonna probably drive this bitch to the lake tomorrow and just throw it in. Just leave it there. So
Hey,
I'll walk to work from now on. I'm done with cars.
more reliable.
I hear city bikes are a good way to get around.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I wasn't living in a town where I'd get run over by everyone.
On other unrelated things, kind of unrelated, tangentially related, BKFC 69. Yeah, nice. But they had their event the same weekend as it was like a week and a half ago or something. But did you guys see it? It's the fastest KO in any combat sport.
Yes.
Was it like 2 seconds?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Sub 2 seconds. Like the bell rings, dude just steps into right hand, and he didn't just like go stiff. He went stiff in such a manner that he rolled stiffly. I thought it was humorous until I remembered that's not good for your brain.
It's a human being.
Yeah, that's a person. So maybe hold off on the laughing, but it was a good shot. Wild to land that right off the bell.
Yeah. The guy immediately dropped his left hand the second the ref said go. So, you know, I'm not really sure what he... And if you guys have never watched BKFC, dear audience, what they will do is they'll actually... You don't start on opposite sides of the ring. You stand within, like, maybe 1.5 feet of each other. You're right at the center of the cage, and that's where the fight starts. And so he didn't just come flying across the cage. He just, from the starting position, is close enough to land an overhand. That's how close they are. And that's,
Yeah,
you know.
he just stepped into it. That's all it took was one step. That's nuts. Man, BKFC is wild. Fucking wild.
Yeah.
Modern day
It's got some-
gladiator sports.
Yeah. It's got some hilarious moments, man.
Yeah. It's also, for me, has always been the one that's the starkest reminder of what the cost of these sports are for the athletes involved. They show damage a lot more than I've ever seen in UFC.
Oh yeah.
The knockouts are fucking bad, worse than I've ever seen in boxing. Well, it's on par with it, and the worst boxing ones aren't as bad as the worst BKFC ones.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The cuts that they will just get cut up so easily,
Yeah.
and like little be leak. It can get real bad. Yeah. I can see it like I don't know if BKFC will ever reach like a somewhat casual fan base, just because like it is way more violent than like even like UFC.
Right. It's like refined violence, right? It's what makes it enjoyable, is that it's more controlled, I guess. I don't know. I'll bring it up every time BKFC comes up. Watched a woman lose her eye in it. Got hit like right with a knuckle right on her eyeball, and she lost it. Not in the ring,
Yeah,
but later on.
They had a guy die like super early on in the company's promotion as well.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was not a very good start.
No, but good start. UFC 311 fights were announced. The main is Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian for the lightweight title. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Co-main event will be Merab versus Umar Nurmagomedov. We thought we were getting O'Malley too, but it's Umar. And Kevin Holland versus light heavyweight RDR, the dude that came from ONE FC. What the hell is this? I think this is the one that I had mentioned. Just like Holland, they'll give him the old like, hey man, just like give him some good work. Don't be too hard on him. Help him get his confidence up. Yuri versus Jamal Hill. Johnny Walker versus Guskov. Don't know who that guy is.
You got to be hyped. You can't,
I am.
to be able, or to be able to
I
see
always
Johnny
wonder
Walker
what
again.
he's doing. What is he? I ask every fucking week. What is he doing? And here we go. He's doing something. Peyton Talbot versus Raoni Barcelos. Good stuff. I'm excited for
This
Peyton
card is
Talbot.
crazy.
Yeah, this is a really good card.
This card is already crazy. Yeah, I'm like really hyped for most of these. Johnny Walker, it's either he's gonna KO this cup or he's gonna get KO'd himself. No in between. Peyton Talbot, man, it's just crazy prospect. And then Yuri Jamal, I feel like that fight is sort of being slept on for the hype. Like offensively, that's just a crazy fight. And then Jamal has so much. The fan base absolutely.
He has the
hates
heat
Jamal.
on him. Yeah, this is a heater
Absolutely hates
for
Jamal.
fans. Fuck yeah.
Did you guys see the video that was circulating earlier this week where he went
Yeah.
into the gym with AP and he said he was talking shit. AP goes and grabs a pair of gloves and is like, all right, put them on, let's fight right now. And then he's like, oh well, he tries to back up and like I got to get paid for this basically.
Yeah.
He got mogged
That
bad.
I mean, that fight is if it let's say Jamal beats Yuri and Pereira beats Ankalaev, Jamal versus Alex 2 is gonna have like a lot of eyes on it, just because of everything that's happened since the knockout. But yeah, but that video was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, that was fun. It was at like the Performance Institute, was it?
Yeah. There's always stuff going on there, and it's I don't know, it's sort of unusual. Yeah, this card is great though. I'm glad we finally got like more clarity on what's going on at bantamweight. I'm glad Merab is fighting Umar. Sort of the question still stands about what's going to happen with O'Malley now in terms of who's going to fight. So I guess that is something to discuss at some point. But
I think he does Jan.
Yeah, I think he could. Because I mean, they don't want to push him that far back, and like Jan
Just got a big win.
Came up with a fight with Figgy that he won, but yeah, I don't know. O'Malley versus Jan 2 is a great fight though.
Mm-hmm.
You think Islam beats Armin again?
I didn't see the first one, so I can't say.
I think he will. I think that just Islam is too complete. I can't imagine him like I can see his wrestling getting nullified, them being equal on the ground, but I can't imagine him getting beaten in that area. So this fight really just comes down to a striking match, and Islam is just significantly better than Saryukin is in that area.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that Islam would win. But this is like definitely. I would not say this is an easy fight for Islam.
No, this is
Arman
like
is very good. Yeah.
This is a 4 or 5 round struggle session for Islam. Like it'll be a hard fight, but he has every advantage he needs to pull it off. So
yeah,
it probably could play out a lot like the Dustin fight, where he has to work for it, but like every round he's just slowly accumulating a lead, and then he either finishes him or he gets a decision.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that fight because if Islam beats Armin again, I mean I don't even know who else there is at lightweight. I mean I guess Islam hasn't fought Gaethje. I guess,
well,
but
they would do probably Charles too.
Oh
that
yeah,
fight
I guess
was
there was
supposed
that
to
fight,
happen, and that would actually be entertaining if Charles actually fights aggressively on the striking, because he played the first fight so tentatively, like he just basically he allowed Islam to punch first, and you can't do that. I think that was before people realized, or even I realized, oh, this guy's actually good on the feet.
He's better than
not
Khabib on the feet. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, he's not no slouch for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Islam is sort of. I mean, he's been asking to move up in weight or at least get like some type of double champ title shot, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Islam is very, very interesting as a fighter, and his career is going to be interesting to watch these next few, even just next year. At the end of next year, it's going to be very interesting to see.
I was just looking at the rankings for O'Malley. Would it be possible that he fights Sandhagen? Because Sandhagen lost to Umar, and O'Malley lost to Merab. Seems like a logical connection to me.
Yeah, that's definitely a possible fight. I mean, fans have been talking about that fight for a while. Like even when O'Malley was like coming up the rankings, fans were talking about that fight. That's a very, very good fight. I think I'm not sure. Like I can almost guarantee you that'll be like a striking match, highly technical striking match. But I sort of want to see Jan versus O'Malley too, just because the first fight was so close.
Oh, Jan versus O'Malley. Okay. I
Yeah,
misheard you.
I would also campaign for that, but I would campaign for that as a co-main so we get 5 rounds because
Oh yeah.
I'm still a little like leery about that first decision and just knowing how Jan fights. I want to see, and we also know like O'Malley, he's proven that he has not just 5-round cardio but 5-round power, and so
Mm.
if both of them are peaking late, that has to be a 5-round fight.
Absolutely.
Oh, slow starters.
Yeah,
But
especially
more so for Jan than O'Malley, but just the longer O'Malley's in with someone, I feel like he gets a better idea of range and stuff like that. So like his best round against Merab was the 5th round, and so if he's up against someone technical who's also peaking, that just sounds like a really entertaining fight to me.
Yeah, it'll be more conclusive as well. I feel like 3 rounds. I guess there's more. I don't know. Like you said, if they peak later, like the earlier rounds might be too close. Or stuff like that. So I don't know. 5 rounds seems more definitive, and hopefully we get like a more like concise result, like a more like Jan absolutely won or O'Malley absolutely won.
Something clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder how they'd. How would you? Where in the bill would you put that? Because you make that like a fight night and make them the main event, or would it?
Oh no, that would have to be a pay-per-view.
It would be on a pay-per-view.
No, it would have to be on a pay-per-view. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think they want to waste Sean on like non-pay-per-view events. I don't know who you'd co-main with, but I think it would absolutely do pay-per-view.
AP.
Oh man, now you're speaking my language.
Stacked card.
AP
versus
Ankalaev, and then
O'Malley Jan.
Yeah,
because I was thinking like that's if you guys are saying that's going to be like a high level striking match, I'd like another high level, like a high IQ event as well in the main.
Yeah, I mean that's already a stat card, like main and co-main. AP versus Jan versus O'Malley too. You could honestly put like some mid fights on the rest of the main, and people are still gonna watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would probably skip most of them. But yeah, still, that would be an insane one. Oof. Anything more for the 311 announcements?
They cooked this a seriously strong start to the year.
Yeah.
And also, I like that they're stacking a lot of these, like, just the big wrestler versus wrestler cards. Like, let's get those matchups settled and kind of figure out who's really elite. Because I feel like we've gotten a lot of wrestler versus striker matchups, and we'll talk about the one that just happened. I want to see more fights like this, just because it encourages, when someone's completely deficient in one area, it's easy just to lean on that. But in both of these fights, neither guy has a weakness that's easy to exploit for the other.
Yeah, I agree.
Oof.
100%.
I'm personally more excited for Merab versus Umar. Same thing like I was saying with Max Holloway. Like I don't have the same attachment to Islam because I didn't see the dominance, the dominant rise. So, but I have been watching Umar for a while, Merab for a while. So that's fun.
It'll be a fun fight.
Kevin Holland versus RD. Like what the fuck is this? What even is this?
I don't know. RDR, if he fights like he fought against GM3, he's gonna get slapped.
Rainier de Ritter was a 2-weight champ at 1FC. And he's light heavy and heavy, and now he's moving down, or a middle and light heavy, and now he's back to middleweight.
I'm hoping it was just like the first fight jitters.
I hope
for
so.
The debut. Yeah.
Man. Yes, Jamal Hill definitely has poor favor for me. So.
Oh, it's like 98% of the fan base is gonna be with Yuri.
Yeah. Oh shit, Eileen Perez is on this. Excellent.
Oh, it gets working.
Yeah.
Well, if she wins, I guess. Yeah.
If she makes weight. Yeah, that's it for 311. Fucking 312 had some announcements. Duplessis will be fighting Strickland again, as expected, and Weili is going to be fighting Tatiana Suarez. The first one for DDP Strickland, like, yeah, is it going to go any differently? I kind of feel like it won't. It'll just be a
I hope
continuation.
DDP can finish this time, but I don't know. I feel like Strickland is more content just to like control at distance. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like Strickland may try to change it up this time, just because like DDP, like it's now like more of a common, or it's now known that like DDP, his cardio is not suspect. He can continue all 5 rounds with like a decent output, So Strickland isn't going to be able to rely on that as much. But I still think this fight is interesting. I would favor DDP though.
I think I would as well. It's just bad because I like Strickland, but just the idea of getting a Chimaev fight versus Duplessis so much more interesting than if Strickland was the one taking that fight. And so unfortunately, I'm kind of matchup hunting here, and so I'm picking DDP just to will that other fight into existence. But you know, the first one was really good. He was really one of the only guys that nullified, I think, his DDP's like sprawl, right? You know, that unpredictable kind of wrestling. And so we'll see. We'll see if he's able to come in a little bit higher level on the striking next time around.
Yeah, should be a fun fight. Kamzat just should wait until after.
I mean, I'm okay with him waiting after that. I mean, it's after what he did to Whitaker, it's like, okay, fine. I know you don't fight a lot, but I'm okay letting you sit for 7 months.
Yeah. Recover. Stay healthy.
Wow. I am morbid curiosity. Like, I want to see, but at the same time, I don't. And I don't know which one to follow. Shit. Now, that was it for 312. Excellent little side convo on that one. Moving into some recaps. This one has some small stuff just before we get to the main part of the dish here. One Friday Fights 90. This was on December 6th, Friday morning. A lot of great knockouts again. Just a few that stood out. Alessio Malatesta stops Fabio Reis in the first. It was intense while it lasted. Reis was really tough, and he got hit with a kick, like reminiscent, honestly, of the Shiming versus Shao Kahn kick. It was pretty similar, and he went stiff. Pause. And it was still good fight. Both of them are solid. This one I wanted to mention because of the guy's name. So Javier Gonzalez, he stops in the second. Pet Kitty. That's his name. Pet Kitty.
Damn.
Big ups, Thailand. Good stuff.
Great names.
It was a brutal stoppage. Gonzalez was like, he buzzed him. It's all over him in the second. He slumped him in a corner. Pet Kitty tried to get up. Curiosity killed the cat, and he stayed down. I don't know what Curiosity has to do with it. Another really intense one. Shoner Shen, TKO in the first over Pet Garfield. That's his name, Pet Garfield. I don't think Thai people have names anymore. They just, whoever wants to pay for the spot is the one who gets it.
They don't give a damn anymore, bro.
No, it doesn't seem so. But Shoner Shen catches Pet Garfield with a jab as he was coming in and puts him down. Follows up with some combos and... Oh, right. He was doing catch and shoot, which I hear a lot in boxing. I'm not sure about MMA as much, but he was catch and shooting off of kicks. And the ref stepped in to stop it rather than let Pet Garfield, who's too tough for his own good. And another interesting name, a guy named was Rambong. I just thought that was fun. Same day in the evening, one Fight Night 26. Let me scour here. The opening fight, Tong Poon, TKO2 over Daniel Williams. Pretty cool fight while it lasted. The light submission grappling was actually really fun. It's kind of surprising for me, but one that I had mentioned to keep an eye on was Denis Puric versus Elias Mahmoudi. Intense. It was a 3x3 Muay Thai fight. Puric came out fucking guns blazing. Elias looked like he was in trouble, and Puric was fucking, like, he's smaller, so he was having to really weave through Mahmoudi's longer legs and arms. But after the second round, he just started piecing him up, and it was pretty bad when it ended. My new girlfriend Danielle Kelly lost her submission grappling title bid to Mesa Bastos. That makes her 0-2. Bastos is pretty damn good. And the main event, Christian Lee versus Ali Beg Rasulov, an eye poke. Come on, dude. You wouldn't last 2 rounds in UFC if you can't handle that little mini eye poke. It's time to start training your eyes better.
Is that eye cardio?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need some more eye endurance. But
John Jones knows a thing or two about that.
DC, Bilal, go to the pros.
All right. Saturday, December 7th, a day which has lived in infamy. UFC 310 in Vegas. This was headlined by Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. So we'll start from the bottom up, and if there's any fights you need to stop on, let me know. Let's see. Kennedy Nzechukwu beats Lucas Dresky in the first. Slow-mo heavyweights. It was a nice little 2-3. And
He killed that boy.
yeah, and
He killed that boy.
he was down. It was actually pretty fun. Chase Hooper submits Clay Guida in the first. Clay Guida was kind of weird the way he was moving around, but Chase Hooper flowed really well. It was really cool.
His striking has gotten so much better. I remember even like his past 2 fights, his striking was abysmal. He was one of those like pure grapplers.
Oh,
But his striking was terrible. But man, his striking actually looked decent this time around. It's just Clay Guida. Like Clay Guida's like old as hell. I don't know, I think this is a definite improvement from Hooper.
I wouldn't. If you had told me that, like not too long ago he couldn't strike for shit, I wouldn't have believed you. Really, it's just he looks like a grapple dominant sort of fighter, yes, but he looked competent with his hands and kicks.
It was real bad. Yeah, like it might have even been like in his last fight, but within his past 2 fights, like I don't know if you want to look up some highlights or what, man, he looked terrible on the feet.
Michael Chiesa submits Max Griffin in the third. Looked like Chiesa was in charge pretty much the whole time. And Max Griffin, they kept saying, I heard the commentary saying that he's a really good striker. So why didn't he try to strike, like, at all? Doesn't seem like he was, I don't know, his head wasn't in the game or something. I don't know, but still.
Yeah, nice submission by Chiesa though.
Yeah. Joshua Van, UD over Cody Durden.
Bro, this fight was crazy.
Was it?
I don't know if you guys. Yeah, this fight was wild. Cody Durden's chin, he's just uncrackable. He's just uncrackable. Joshua Van was throwing some crazy heat at Durden, and he would get like stunned, but there was no like. I was convinced at some point that you can't knock him out. He hung in all 3 rounds. He was exhausted. Joshua Van at the end of the fight, it looked like he wasn't even in a fight. His cardio, Joshua Van, because I think with this fight he's gonna enter the top 15. Because I think Cody Durden was like number 14 or something like that in the rankings. But Joshua Van, he looked like a prospect this time around. So someone to keep an eye on.
Eric Anders knocks out Chris Weidman in the second. The catch weight was at 195 because they had made weight 3 weeks ago from when they were supposed to fight. So yeah, they had a mini cut this time. But Eric Anders was like in control pretty much the whole time. I'm surprised he didn't get. He kneed Chris Weidman in the head while he was down. I'm surprised they didn't disqualify him. It was fucking blatant.
Yeah, it wasn't even close to like. It's not like he was like. It's not like Chris was on his way up. He was just like fully down, and he kneed him directly in the head.
He was on his way down, and not coming up from a knee. He was going down to a knee, and then he kneed him in the face, and that's, I don't know, man, unacceptable. But
it also couldn't have happened to a better person. Let's be real. Weidman's won his last 2 or 3 fights based off of blatantly cheating. So, should it have happened? No. But, if it had to happen to anyone, at least it was him.
Just desserts.
This is called real hating.
Yeah, it's quality. Anders had good control throughout the second round till the fight ended. So, fun. Okay, this one I didn't see. Brian Battle, split decision ? Over Randy Brown.
Yeah, this was a dodgy decision.
Ugh.
This is when it started to get like rough on on the card. I thought Randy Brown won two rounds to one, maybe even 3 rounds to 0 if I remember correctly. But yeah, I did not have Bryan Battle winning this. His head movement again non-existent. Randy Brown was piecing him up. There was like, I think Bryan had like maybe 1 or 2 moments where he had caught Randy with like some nice knees and like 1 or 2 nice shots. But yeah, I did not have Bryan win this fight, and yeah,
The crowd
I sort of
didn't
feel bad.
either.
For
I
Randy.
heard that.
Oh yeah, they were booing the shit out of it.
Yeah. You know, maybe Randy Brown should have said, "You're insane if you were going to put an American in the cage with me. I think he's going to win."
Yeah. The post fight interview was not as effective this time for
No.
Bryan Battle.
Yeah, like if you're gonna be on the winning end of a questionable decision, maybe have a little bit of humility with it, like Cyril Gane did, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, moving up, Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. I think it was a pretty close. It was competitive, but pretty clear for Evloev. Aljo had spots, but I don't know. I don't think any of them were ever enough to really ever take rounds away from Evloev that when Evloev was winning them.
Yeah, I had Movsar winning too. If Aljo would have like maybe on getting the last round, maybe I could see them like a split decision win for Aljo, but he sort of lost it at the very end.
Yeah, it was Marab that was telling him to pressure more with takedowns, like basically do what I do, and that was just it worked once, and Evloev adapted to it every time after that, and I don't know why he kept doing it.
Yeah, I think Aljo will still be around. Like he didn't get like steamrolled by Movsar or anything like that. But yeah, nice one for Movsar.
All right, moving up, Vicente Luque submits Temba Gorimbo in the first. The submits is putting it very nicely. Homeboy was asleep. Yeah. I think if I heard this correctly, read this correctly, this is Gorimbo's first fight away from his previous gym, and he used to be like training partners with Covington until Covington was a major douchebag to him when previously he had never been. So he's at a new gym, very emotionally distraught apparently.
Yeah, this is not the performance you want to have, man. Did it even last a minute?
No, 52 seconds.
That's wild. I mean, he landed some really good leg kicks on Luque.
He did.
But then he got clipped and went down, and then that was it.
Yeah, it was like
easy.
a check hook as he was trying to rush, and once he was down, that was it.
Yeah, rough. That's a rough loss.
Yeah. Speaking of rough losses, Dominic Reyes, he stops Anthony Smith in the second. Anthony Smith had lost a very close friend of his. I think it was his coach or something. But still, it was a very close friend, and he was very emotionally distraught. And yeah, it showed.
What was Anthony Smith doing? I think it was like in the second round or something like that. Like he just had his arms down and was telling Reyes to hit him. I don't understand what was going on.
I'm thinking he was trying to make himself feel pain so he could feel something. Allow himself to feel emotions if he has physical pain.
That sounds like that sounds like someone you shouldn't let fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's armchair psychology, but I've personal experiences with myself, with friends and stuff. Like, yeah, this isn't somebody you want to be lacing up for, or having them lace up to go fight somebody. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this: Anthony Smith took like a crazy amount of damage in this fight.
Yeah, he did.
And he's, obviously like nearing retirement age. He's old as hell. Been in this division for a while. He's got to consider retirement. But yeah, great win for Reyes. He looked really good. Sort of back to his old ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pre-Yan knockout, pre-Yuri knockout. Yeah, I don't know who's next for Reyes, but a very good win for him. Dominated.
If he keeps this up, I don't know if the timing would work out, but if prime Dominic Reyes could come back, I kind of want to see what he could do versus AP, because the Reyes that took it to John Jones was a serious problem on the feet, and I'd love to see that versus If nothing else, just for the style matchup, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love to see. I love to see Reyes win there because he's had like some serious rough losses, like the Yuri knockout, the Yan knockout. I mean, those were just like killer KOs for him. But yeah, you're right, man. The Reyes that fought John Jones, that dude was built different. That dude was really built different.
Well, I can't ask what Johnny Walker's doing because I already know. What about where is he at? Khalil Roundtree, Carlos.
Damn, I've heard rumors about Oberg maybe finding Jan for Jan's comeback.
Oh
from
yeah,
injury.
that's right.
And nothing is confirmed, so like it's just rumors. I'd be down for Reyes versus Ozdemir. He's coming up a loss to Oberg. I don't know if Reyes can beat Roundtree. I think it could be a fun fight. Maybe Rakic.
Yeah, flat performances for Rakic. Yeah,
there's definitely a few fights you can make with him. I think either Ozdemir or Rakic. Those would be nice matchups for Reyes. Like sort of like winnable ones. Roundtree would be fun, but I don't want to see Reyes get like brutally KO'd. Not yet.
Again.
Yeah.
Man, Anthony Smith. He didn't say he was going to retire, but it seems like, I don't know, the writing's on the wall for him, I think. He just didn't want to say it in the moment.
He has like a nice, desk analyst job.
Yeah, they were all saying
he's going to be involved with the UFC. So it's not like he's going to be completely out of the game, even if he retires. But like, you have to consider, I mean, he's old and then just has had some rough losses.
38-21? Goodness gracious.
It's just so hard because as a fighter, like there's nothing that's ever going to be more exhilarating in your life than stepping into the octagon, especially Anthony Smith, who like he's someone who's fortunate enough to have challenged for the title before, right? Like he can say, I went to war with John Jones, and that like you're always going to be chasing that dragon in a sense. And it's so, I mean, we see it in boxing as well. Like guys just don't know when to quit, and they keep going because like that's, for some of them, if they started when they were young, that's the majority of their life is amateur professional fighting. It's like, how do you stop?
Yeah, that's all they know.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah, that's when like the people around him have to, step in, like say, just let him know he's past his prime, and unfortunately, then every fighter gets to that point. You can't fight forever.
And when he's, I know nicknames aren't that big of a deal, right? And in fighting, but with a guy whose nickname literally is like Lionheart, like his reputation is like grit and just like trying to do things that people say he can't do. That's hard. So I feel for the guy, but you're right. People in his corner need to be telling him it's over. Because
like, I mean, maybe he wants to retire and a win, but I'm not even sure who you can match him up with where he would have like a favorable matchup. Ozdemir might cook him. I'm like, because didn't Anthony Smith lose to the guy from middleweight? Delidze.
Oh,
Anthony Smith did. And he lost. I mean, it's this guy a weight division down. I think it was short notice as well. Obviously for both of them. But it was just, I don't know. He hasn't been. This is definitely like a losing streak now. I don't know how many losses, but it's at least 2. Yeah, at some point you're just taking damage for damage's sake. And especially after seeing him last night, like with his arms down,
asking for
Reyes
punishment. Yeah,
like that's adds a new like layer, to his onion.
That's good. I haven't heard that in a while, but yeah, that's good.
You said it was his coach?
I think so.
Someone that close to him, sort of like a brother or father figure. I don't know what type of relationship they had, but I'm sure it's very rough. But like this is, we're talking about his health.
Yeah, for
at
sure.
Some point. And he has his own family, so
this would have to be like Dana White himself having to sit him down and say, look, I want you to stay on the team, but we can't have you fighting anymore, because if you have more fights like this, you're not going to be able to commentate or to be an analyst. You can't do it if you're punch drunk.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the post-fight interview or post-fight press conference, I think Dana White actually called for Anthony Smith to at least consider retirement.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that's a conversation he will have with him at some point.
It's gonna have to be like an intervention with his wife, his kids, if they're old enough. Oof. Sad times for Anthony Smith, but man, I hope you find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Moving up, Duho Choi. I don't know. I'm not going to call him by this name. His name is Landwehr. He's still searching for a new first name. I cannot have him be smirching you, Nathan. That was a fucking embarrassment. Ragdolled, dominated, bodied. I don't know what other descriptions to give it.
Steamroll. Choi
Yeah.
steamrolled Nate. It was crazy. I honestly thought, like, I think I went into this fight favoring Nate, but like it was not even 10 seconds in, and Choi was already lighting Nate up with like heavy shots.
Yeah, he was
heavy shots. Nate was rocked. I want to say like twice within a minute. It was sort of crazy to see. But yeah, Choi, he looked very, very different than he has in the past. Much sharper, much quicker. I'm not sure how much it is Choi improving, or if Nate is just like getting older, or what's going on. But Choi looked very good. Like that's one of those performances that increases his stock quite a bit.
big time.
Yeah.
What is this, featherweight? Is he not ranked? You think he should be?
I think this is an unranked fight.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if he'll get ranked off of this, but I think UFC would definitely be looking at like a really good matchup for Choi. If that Choi that fought last night matches up against someone in the top 15, I'm not saying he's gonna steamroll a guy.
He's not gonna land
15.
wear them, but
Yeah, it'll be a good fight though. I mean, the UFC can pretty much guarantee that.
Yeah, looking at featherweight here, Edson Barbosa would be fucking fireworks if this same Choi shows up. That is nuts.
Yeah. Damn, I feel for Barbosa. Barbosa, my guy, man. He might get steamrolled by Choi.
Giga Chad.
Chikaze.
Yeah.
There's some fun matchups you can make.
Yeah, there are a lot of good ones. Another good
Yeah.
wrinkle to the featherweight division. Very cool. Very good. Very cool to see. He's from Daegu. That's where there's a very large U.S. Army garrison there. He should have called himself like the tank or some shit. I don't know.
The Abrams.
Moving up, Bryce Mitchell with an interesting stoppage of Kron Gracie. Gracie did, I think, what Gracie does. Tried to make turn every exchange of any kind, try to turn it into a ground fight until he got, thrown.
Such a very satisfying knockout.
It is.
Very, very satisfying. And by Bible man, no less. Let us not forget God's strongest warrior.
You know, it was hilarious about this fight. Like Kron Gracie, the way he was fighting, he just wanted to survive. He did not care about winning at all. It was like he had one moment, I think, in the third, or actually, no, I think it was in the second round, where like he had like an arm bar in guard or something like that. Bryce was in trouble, but other than that, Gracie it looked like he just wanted to survive, get his check, leave, and that was it. But yeah, the fact that Bryce slammed him down and then like some vicious as hell ground and pound on Gracie that like pretty much put him out. It was a very, very satisfying finish.
Did you see his nose after the fact? Like it was crushed.
Gracie's it was only like 2 shots he landed, but it was like full impact onto Gracie.
Yeah.
Full impact.
Right on like that. I mean, he took the elbow straight to his face. I mean, it was one of the worst ground and pound strikes you can take.
Even like the slam that Bryce got on Gracie, Bryce put his entire weight into it. And I'm not sure if like the head fully went into the canvas, but that was one of those slams that, it hurt. It hurt a lot getting put down like that.
Not like Michael Chandler. Whatever that was.
Yeah, this was like a real slam. not a fall backwards.
Yeah, I mean, just I don't know, man. Gracie was a disgracey.
This is another dude. I think in the post-fight press conference, Dana White was telling Gracie to retire.
How many fights does he have? 5 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real with it. The Gracie name is carrying him.
Oh, of course.
Like completely. Yeah, I fear it may be PFL time, buddy. If you want to continue fighting.
That's the relegation league.
Yeah, PFL may even like say we don't want to, but we'll see. Maybe LFA.
Ugh, Invicta. There's also the Lux Fight League, no relation. Moving up, Bryce Mitchell. Moving up to Cyril Gahn, split decision ? Over Alexander Volkov.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Nathan take this one.
Yeah.
Just because his reaction was hilarious.
What part of my reaction was hilarious?
Just like as soon as like the decision was read, I just see like message. He's like, Volkov just got robbed.
Yeah, he was robbed. It was this was a disgraceful decision in my opinion. I think, and I'm getting tilted already coming back to it, but like it feels like UFC is having these decisions happening every major card. Like it's as bad, if not worse, than boxing. It feels like sometimes. You know, this wasn't a blowout either way. It was a close fight, but I don't know how the second round is scored for Cyril Gahn, honestly. The major strikes seemed like they were landed for Volkov, and the wrestling was about equal. I was actually shocked, by the way. I didn't know Volkov could wrestle like he did. And that isn't, I know that Gahn had a pretty awful performance against Jones wrestling-wise. But, you know, he showed significant improvements in his wrestling game. It was pretty evenly matched, I thought. I don't know. I know it's hard with a 3-round fight to be like, you know, what's the outrage for? It's the difference in a single round swing. But, like, round 1's clearly Cyril Gahn. Round 3 is clearly Volkov. Why is... I don't know. That second round doesn't feel like it was that close, right? I mean, if it was close, it was at least clear, in my opinion. Volkov's he's more active, he's landing more. The rest, you know, no major wrestling wins for Gahn, so it just, I don't know, feels gross.
Yeah, I had a 2-1 Volkov, sort of a weird fight. But yeah, I think one of the most, like, at least if you don't believe, I mean, I don't know if you want to use like robbery here. I think it is somewhat, you can use it in this scenario. But one of the most, I guess, convincing pieces of evidence here is the fact that Gahn himself walked out of the ring, like whenever the card was announced. I don't know if he thought he lost or what, but like
he had to lose.
Yeah, he himself, at least that's how it appeared. He himself didn't think he won, and like they sort of, his coach talked to him as he was leaving. I don't know if I don't speak French, but whatever he was saying, like, you won, go back to the interview. It's sort of, I mean, Gahn himself didn't believe he won. That is very, very telling.
Yeah, he didn't. And that was something I appreciated in his little interview. The little bit that he did do was saying, like, this was a really crappy decision. I'm not making excuses for anything, but it happens. This is what happens.
Yeah, he pointed to his like toes. I
broke my toe
about, like,
or
he
some
broke
shit.
His toes, like in like he said the first kick that he threw. But yeah, you could tell he was disgusted with his performance. So yeah, I don't know what they do from here on out. Dana White, when Volkov walked out of the ring or the octagon, Dana White went up to Volkov and told him that the judges screwed him. So obviously Dana White believes that Volkov won. I'm not too sure what happens from here, because I mean, can you give Gahn a title shot?
I mean, that's the obvious thing that's going to happen.
An interim title shot?
Well, I think what's going to happen is that Aspinall is going to be elevated in the next couple months, and then they'll call his first title defense against Gahn, because he's too big of a star in France to like not throw him in there immediately.
Oh, UK versus France.
Yeah,
that is big.
He is massive in France. Yeah,
that's a big rivalry.
What do you do with Volkov though?
Hopefully something fair. With the way he fought today, my estimation of him has skyrocketed. I didn't realize his game was that complete, and I like him against most of the other heavyweights that are around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has
definitely.
gotten so much better. The Pavlovich fight was a very clear delineation, like in his skill. And I think it's because he changed gyms. That's something I was seeing in like UFC Countdown, like the little documentary that they do for the card. But he changed cards for the, or he changed gyms for the Pavlovich fight, and man, he just looks so much better now. I don't know if they like fixed his, like, you know, or found a style that fits him more, but he looks really really good nowadays.
Oh, you know how I was like ranting that the UFC is becoming just like boxing in terms of judging? Well, who do you think was
Adelaide
judging
Bird.
that?
Adelaide
Yes.
Bird, it went viral. Yeah,
I knew she was there because
that was crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
they
It's
mentioned
like,
her a
how
few
did-
times.
We've been poisoned. We've been poisoned, lads.
You know what sucks is that the promoters can't really do anything about it because it's the athletic commissions that
Mhm.
pull the judges.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's you're right. It's been happening more and more often with these judges. Like we've been getting more dodgy decisions, especially like towards the end of this year. I don't know if this is something that the UFC is gonna have a conversation about, but it's been getting really bad.
Given that the athletic commissions, they are like government organizations, but they're a lot. I am sure a lot of their revenue is based on the sports or the events that they sanction. So if UFC is saying, if you put Adelaide Bird in the same fucking arena as me, we're leaving. I feel like there is that sort of, like, they do have that kind of pull to say, at least I don't like her. You can give me anyone else you want, but not her.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you've got clear evidence that you can show the UFC of, like, I'm not gonna say like corruption, but like, sort of
Multi-sport
incompetence.
incompetence.
Yeah, I don't think that's like tampering at all with like the commission. I think at that point that becomes sort of a necessity.
Right.
So I would be down if the UFC did that. That's not anything like corrupt. That's just trying to get fair judging.
Right. They're not looking for favorable like style
Yeah.
judging. They just want someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Volkov. Hopefully, Volkov gets done right by the UFC.
Hopefully.
Like, I don't know who they're gonna try to match him up with, but yeah, this is not like an isolated incident. So something sort of has to happen here. I don't suspect we'll be seeing her on more UFC cards, but we'll see what the commission does.
Moving up from Cyril Gahn, Shavkat Rachmanov, UD question mark over Ian Gary. Was this a question mark? Because it didn't look like it was all that decisive for Rachmanov. Was Rachmanov hype job? Overrated? Are people still underestimating Ian Gary, myself included?
I think Shavkat, I guess it depends what your opinion was. Like, if you saw him as a very well-rounded fighter, then I think that opinion should stay unchanged. But if you saw him as like a monster destroyer that's going to run through everyone, maybe that needs to get toned back a bit. My biggest takeaway from this fight, though, was how good Ian Gary is. I know we clown on him hard here, but I seriously didn't know he had that kind of defensive grappling game. Like, that totally changes my perspective on his potential in this division. Because that was,
Absolutely.
and I know they've trained together. Maybe he's used to Rachmanov's specific style of wrestling. And, you know, he still lost the fight, right? He wasn't able to stop Rachmanov from initiating those clinches, and he wasn't able to really, it took him a long time rather to break out of those cage things, which the whole time Rachmanov is kind of winning by default. Like, it's not, people shouldn't be rewarded for just holding someone up against the cage, but that's how the rules work. And if you're not able to keep someone off you for 5 rounds like that, then you're going to lose. But I mean, God, just the near submission at the end, that would have been one of the most insane upsets of all time.
Man.
If he got submitted in the last round.
It
And
looked
he
like
was
he had
so
him.
close.
Yeah.
He did have him. Yeah, the way Shavkat slid out of that was crazy. I really thought it was over. I thought it was over.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I was preparing a phrase, like, what am I going to say when we come to this fight? Like, am I serving you crow wings? Are we eating crow? Because holy shit, Ian Gary. That was kind of what I was banking on. But yeah, dial back the expectations a little bit. Yeah, non-zero chance. Fucking put the money on that next time.
Yeah, Ian Gary definitely gained quite a bit of or he gained some fans in this fight.
Yeah, definitely.
His in the first round, whenever like Shavkat transitioned like from the clinch to like try to get a trip, the way Ian Gary kept his balance was phenomenal. Like, I mean, he was super off balance, I think, on like one leg, and like Shavkat was like sort of slinging him around. It was very, very impressive how he didn't, how he kept himself on his feet. The shoot the box training that he does with Charles Oliveira, Diego Lima, that whole like Brazilian band, it seems to be paying off tremendously for Ian Gary.
I was thinking for just a second ago, maybe Ian Gary should have done the after the fight, maybe not before the cards are announced, but he should have been doing like the boxer Arnold Barbosa. I think Where's My Respect would have been fun.
Yeah, I mean, the stock went up
big time.
I think it was a good result for him.
Okay, anything more for Shavkat versus Ian Gary? All right. In the main event, is it Alexandre? Did I get that right? Alexandre Pantoja?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's how they said it.
The flyweight champion submits Kai Asakura in his UFC debut. This fucking no-name bum coming off the street who nobody even knows who he is. And JK. Something that somebody was saying during the fights was that Kai Asakura doesn't seem to be serious about this. And he's just kind of doing stuff. Whatever looks flashy, right? A lot of flying knees. We saw those. And then Pantoja just does what Pantoja does. He got the win. Is that a good assessment?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we didn't get to see too much like of the fight. There was like there was a few moments in the first round, but like you said, the flying knees, I think Kai threw like 3 or 4 of them in the first round. The first one did land, like the one that he threw like within the first 15 seconds. But then Kai was just throwing, he started throwing flying knees from like super far out that were never going to land. And like, I don't know, it was just sort of weird. Pantoja did eat some shots from Kai that landed flush in the first round, but there was a clear like deficiency in the grappling. Like whenever Pantoja was able to take down Kai, it seemed like Kai didn't know too much. He had some defense. He wasn't completely inept on the ground, but I'm gonna say Pantoja cooked Kai.
Yeah, this was, it was the fear that I think we all had, which is, as good as Kai is in Ryzen, that's where he's from, right?
Yeah.
They don't have the same caliber of wrestlers that they do, or grapplers, in just that part of the world, right? It's more striking. You don't really, and he got thrown right into the deepest end possible in his division. And, I credit him for taking that, and I kind of understand the UFC throwing him in there like that. That division needs a kind of a shot of adrenaline. But he just, there's a different level of wrestling there. So it was kind of a shame that it ended up playing out that way. I was hoping for something a little different, but I think there's definitely a future for Asakura here. He just probably won't get a title shot for 2 or 3 more fights minimum. I mean, he's not even entered the rankings yet, so they're going to have to give him, I would say, at least 3 more fights. And if he wins them all, then we could talk about him challenging for the belt again. But he's got quite a long ways ahead of him.
Yeah, he's got to find some training partners to increase his like ground game skill, wrestling, takedown defense. He's got to increase that skill if he wants to do well in the UFC. I'm not sure who they match him up with next, but if I'm the UFC, I'm probably trying to match him up with like a pure striker. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember.
Charles Johnson?
Who?
The tall, wiry dude?
Maybe actually, who else? Brandon Royval kills him probably.
Oh, I wouldn't give him anyone above in the top 7 at least.
I was gonna go top 15 to 10.
I mean, you could even do Steve Urseg. Like, that's a dangerous fight, but I mean, that's the kind of guy that'll stand and punch with Asakura.
You know what else could be good? Someone who does not wrestle, Manel Kopp. Because everyone else, you don't want to do the title matchup just yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
You'd want at the end of the next Road to UFC season, you could do UFC in Tokyo and then have the UFC finalists on that.
Yeah, especially if Kai gets some wins
If he
under his belt
shapes up.
too. Yeah, I mean, and the good thing is like he didn't take like an egregious amount of damage here. Like he got subbed and like went to sleep, but that's not really like that damaging. Yeah, I'm looking through this like these rankings for flyweight. Pantoja has really just destroyed this division. Like he has beat so many people. It's sort of crazy.
He actually called out Demetrius Johnson.
That call out sort of makes like
It does
whenever
make
I
sense.
heard it, I was like, what is he saying? This DJ retired this year.
I think it makes sense.
What is he doing?
Who else is
DJ's
there?
a podcaster now.
How old
Yeah,
is
this is-
Pantoja?
34.
DJ's not that much older.
DJ, I mean, it's been years since DJ was even in the UFC, though. I don't know. I mean, I think Dana White said it sounds interesting, but I'm pretty sure Demetrius Johnson has already come out on his YouTube channel saying,
This is something message for you, Demetri Johnson.
Who,
I'm
me?
the GOAT here.
My
If you
black
want
ass
to
ain't
prove
coming
you're
out
the
of
GOAT,
so.
All
I'm
right.
That's
I can dig it.
definitive. It's not coming out.
I can dig it. Yeah, I understand both of them. Like Pantoja, there's nobody else, and DJ's not that far removed from fighting days. But I also get DJ's desire to not want to come out of retirement. Like it doesn't interest him to do that anymore.
Yeah, I just don't know who can beat Pantoja. Like, I guess, I mean, who would you guys match him up with next? Maybe
Moreno.
Kai Kara-France?
Moreno.
Again?
Yeah, I would run that one back because Moreno
Like right
looks
now?
like. Oh yeah. Now that Moreno's got a bit of a win streak, I'd say go for it.
I will say this: I am high on Moreno after he beat Amir Albazi. Like that Moreno looked very, very different.
Yeah.
Like back to like vintage Moreno. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if the UFC would be like super inclined because like it is somewhat recent. Like I think it's only the Kai Asakura fight, the Brandon Royval fight, and then the one before that is when Pantoja fought Moreno. I mean, I would be very excited for it, and obviously like Moreno normally has a history of bringing like an exciting fight to flyweight. You know, he had the 4 fights with Figgy. He had the fight with Kai Kara-France. He just steamrolled Amir Albazi, and I mean he does like fresh. I'm not sure what the UFC would do. I think either Moreno or Kai Kara-France is a good option for Pantoja next in terms of like title defense. But yeah, DJ was a crazy call out. Crazy call out.
What about Manuel Kape again?
He's like 3 wins away.
Yeah,
3
that
or
was
4
like
wins away.
almost 4 years ago that they fought. Like, I'm a different person since then.
Yeah, I mean that is another matchup they could do, but I think Kape needs some wins. And I mean he's what, like number 9 right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he needs some wins. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Like this division is a little bit weird because Royval was talking about fighting Pantoja again, but they just did that.
Yeah, I mean this division's like cooked beyond belief.
Yeah.
Which I understand why Pantoja made the call out. I mean, like, there's nothing really here for him. He could try and move up a division, but like, why would you do that? Why not just sit on your belt and let the UFC feed you guys you're just lapping at this point, you know?
I want to say I did see something about Pantoja. I'm not sure if call out is the right word, but he talked about wanting to fight Sean O'Malley. I'm not sure if that would happen or if the UFC would even be interested in it, but yeah, I mean, like you said, this division is sort of cooked, and unless someone can take the belt off of Pantoja. Easier said than done.
Yeah. I can only really think of bringing in outside talent again. I don't see anybody here that is still interesting.
Yeah, there's no new blood, at least.
There are a lot of fights you can make here that are really fun, but none of them include Pantoja. Man.
Yeah, we were eating when Figgy was champion.
Victim.
Yeah, all of
Everyone
his
thinks
fights
he's
were
gonna-
amazing.
Yeah, God, yeah, the Moreno and Figgy like 4-fight series was so good.
Oh, Adriano Moraes. Pull him out of
Who's
1FC. The guy who beat DJ that one time?
Oh, so we're just gonna be like fishing in other organizations.
Yep, we're sniping. That's what we're doing now. Yuya
Sniping
Wakamatsu,
food for-
if you want to get another Japanese
I
guy.
think food for Pantoja.
Yeah, what else can we do?
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, we have Kai here, like in the flyweight division. The title fight may not be that fun, but some matchups in the division at least could be fun.
How about we bring over Superlek?
Oh my god,
The ultimate striker versus the ultimate grappler.
bro.
Commentated by the ultimate fucking casuals.
Hey. I don't know what else to. What else can you do?
It was sort of sad because like last night, someone in the chat was like, "I can't believe I'm watching UFC," but like he had it on, and it's like, "This is my first MMA fight," and it was the Pantoja Asakura fight, and it was just hilarious, like seeing his realization that this was like a boring fight or like a mediocre fight, and the fact that it was over so quick. I mean, that's how it always is though. Even like with boxing, whenever you recommend a fight, it's like, yeah, it's like an 80% chance to be a stinker.
I don't remember who it was, but somebody during the fight in Discord was saying like, man, this is so fucking boring. I hate MMA. I'm like, bro, you just watched all 12 rounds of Richardson Hitchens versus Liam Paro.
Oh yeah.
Please
I
shut the fuck up.
that.
Like, don't give me your bullshit.
Yeah, I remember you typing that.
I do feel like in combat sports, like once you've decided, or if you're one of the people that like treats it like console wars, and you have to like I'm a boxing fan or I am an MMA fan, you like theory craft reasons why it actually wasn't boring. When if you're just a normal person and you watch it and it's like, no, this is boring as shit, and I can admit that.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. Boring fights are boring fights. I don't give a shit what sport it is.
Yeah. It was just sad to see that. Yeah. It's always the unfortunate. Yeah. Whenever you recommend, it ends up being a boring fight. Sad as hell to see.
What if for Pantoja, the flyweight champ, this is another one you got to bring in from outside of UFC, but Dakota Ditcheva, flyweight champion over at PFL.
Like you're bringing watchability from the fact that this is now like an intergender match.
Yeah, this is a battle of the sexes here.
That's how they would market it too. But like, oh man, that would be received so badly.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be received so badly.
They don't,
Like Pantoja would be put in a lose-lose situation.
pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd have to make it an exhibition or something so that there's everybody wins kind of thing.
Have to give him some handicap. But yeah.
That's it for 310. Overall, not terrible, not the best. I think my excitement might have something to do with how not as entertaining I found it to be. But still, Troy was awesome. That was fucking great.
Oh yeah.
These were also good matchups just to move or kind of progress each division narrative. Like we're getting more pieces to the puzzle. So it's like, okay, now we know more about a fighter than we did before. So there was some hardcore informative stuff there if you're into that.
True.
Oh yeah.
Very true. Fucking, that's it. Just one thing on the previews. That's on Friday, December 20th at 4:30 on the West Coast. One Friday Fights 92. I don't know who any of these people are, so I don't know if those are actual names that they go by or if it's a brand name. I don't know anymore because Pet Kitty and Pet
crazy.
Garfield just really flipped my understanding of Thai naming conventions on its ass.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna, instead of saying going into like shitty weekends, there's nothing happening. This is the weekend of December 21st. It's the winter solstice on Saturday, if you care about that. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Ultimate Effing Casual, a Lux Media production. If you'd like to give your thoughts, or you just need to let us know how terrible you think our takes are, you can be a lame and text our anonymous line, 833-589-7637. If you want to stand on business, call and leave a voice message, and we'll see if you're interesting enough to make the final cut of the show. 833-LUX-PODS. Can't go wrong. If you prefer to hit us up on social media, the account name is LVX Media Net, all one word. That's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all the rest of that bullshit. If you can't find us, chances are we're not on it. A lot of stuff gets cut out from final releases for all kinds of reasons. So if you want the raw audio, exactly as it's recorded, look us up on Patreon. LVX Media Net over there, just like everywhere else. Even if you don't sign up on Patreon, you can still help us out a lot if you hit us with a rating on whatever app you're listening on. If you're not feeling a $5, you have our number, or you can hit the DMs. Let us know how we can earn that full $5. The metal intros by Anders Janhunen, the jazzy intros by the artist Afternoon, outro by Middle of Nowhere Beats, and for more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lvxmedia.net. Heading into fucking nothing. Into the void. Into the abyss. Parting words.
I think we can, let's kind of maybe take a second to look at how good this year's been. There's definitely been a bit of a roller coaster, as there always is, but we got a lot of really amazing fights. We have new rivalries that are pulling out. We have unfortunately, some controversies that will pull into the next year, but hopefully we'll find some resolution. But I think being a fan of the UFC this year has been fun. There's been a lot of good things to take away from it. So
very excellent.
I've been happy with it.
Yeah, very good year.
Yeah, I'll echo that. Just like saying, this has been like a pretty fun year to be a UFC fan, like combat sports fan. There's not much left like until the end of the year, other than there's probably like some regional cards if you're like super degenerate. But I guess enjoy Usyk versus Fury. Very, very close to the end of the year. But yeah, other than that, it's been a fun year. Had a lot of cool moments. We'll be doing like would it be like the awards?
Yeah,
at some point.
End of year awards.
Yeah, it'll be fun to recap the entirety of the year, going back through everything. But yeah,
I think we missed our mid years, if I recall. We didn't do them.
We'll make up for it.
Yeah, I still have them, so we can. That would be fun to talk through them, like how it changed, or if it didn't.
Yeah, I'd be down. That'd be a fun episode to do.
Well then, that's it for this edition. The Ultimate Fucking Casuals will be back.
Peace.
Yep.